10 habits that highly sensitive people should try and adopt at the opening of this new year, but any other day also, and can help improve our life quality and our happiness and everything that we do in our everyday life. The first one is looking at yourself, self-perception, or looking at who you are on a daily basis and trying to understand routines and the way you think and what triggers you and what makes you feel good and everything else that has to do with examining yourself as if you're looking from the outside, as if you're looking through a glass door or whatever, and trying to understand how you think, how you behave, where in your body do certain feelings come across, what triggers you, as I said, anything that is self-perception and absorbing yourself, I think that's how you said, and just looking at yourself on a daily basis, because I think that many times as highly sensitive people, we are triggered very easily, we react in a certain way very easily because of who we are, and adopting this habit of looking a bit from the outside can help you understand new things and new connections within whatever it is that you do in everyday life, and give you a certain sense of meaning or rationalization of how you behave. And from that also comes the ability to change and to behave differently or to think differently. But first of all, if you could only take one habit from this video, I would like you to take this one, because observing yourself and looking at yourself from the outside a bit here and there doing your everyday life, that could make you a lot stronger in the sense that you know many things about yourself, and that could put you in a whole different game as far as leading your own life is concerned. So that is one thing. The second one is movement. Move more, okay? And just remember to move in your everyday life. What does that mean? It doesn't. I'm not telling you to start running around, or do a marathon or whatever it is that you can think of as sports of movement. I'm just saying that because our nervous system is so sensitive and is so absorbing and is so intense, a lot of energy seems to be like caught in between our cells. And when we move, we let in some air, when we let in some fresh air, sort of, and we let in some different energy. And because of that, movement, a lot more than other people, makes us feel better faster. And as I said before, it doesn't mean that you have to exercise and exercising is good for everybody and you should do it, whatever, but it doesn't mean you have to take on a lot of exercising and loading a lot of new things on your busy schedule as it is. It just means considering moving in your everyday life, walking upstairs, getting up to the kitchen to get yourself a cup of coffee instead of asking somebody else to do it. Remembering that movement for you has a much bigger effect, a much more intense effect than it does on other people. And because of that, it should and could be a very good part of your life when you adopt it in and embrace it a lot more as part of your daily life, and could be a very good habit to take in and to start this coming new year with, and see how energetically something in your body and your mind and soul and emotions changes also. That was number 2. Number 3 is gratitude. And of course, what I'm saying here, just like the other 2, is good for everybody else. But what I would like to emphasize is why and how these 10 habits are more important and more effective on highly sensitive people. And as far as gratitude is concerned, the thing is that being highly sensitive means that you're genetically, I think, prone to look for the tiger, to look for something that's going on, to look for out of danger, or to be a good counselor to the king and look for everything else if there's somebody is trying to poison him. And because of that, what you are and who you are today is somebody that many times look for this stuff a lot more than other people. And gratitude, any exercise of gratitude, telling yourself in the morning, in the evening, whenever during the day. I sometimes tell my clients to just every round hour to stop and say something that is grateful, that you're grateful for, and look for specific things, not just saying, oh my God, I have these wonderful kids, which I do actually, but looking for specific things that make you think and really try to find something to be grateful for. That energy and that exercise, which you can do, as I said, anywhere at any time, helps balance these genetic tendencies of looking for the bad stuff, of looking for something that's going on and you have to be aware of. And because of that, using the grateful exercises in any way you want is something that is a very good habit for highly sensitive people. That was number 3. Number 4 is self-acceptance and accepting the reality around you, accepting yourself and what's going on in reality around you. And why is that so important for highly sensitive people? Because as I say many times in this video and in other videos as well, being a highly sensitive child and a person usually means that you grow up feeling that you're not enough, something is wrong with you, you're overreacting, you're spoiled, you're not like your brother or sister, and all of that really sinks in. And many highly sensitive people, not everybody, it doesn't happen to everybody, but many highly sensitive people walk around with a lot of blame and guilt and the feeling of not being enough. And starting to exercise and telling yourself, well, this is how it is. This is who I am. Before even saying I'm great, okay? I'm not jumping up that far. Just saying this is the reality. If you believe in powers beyond you, this is how I was created. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is my journey. Whatever it is, just accepting it, accepting your life journey and accepting who you are, really gives a certain answer to these inner voices that try to remind you again and again that you're not enough. And because of that, these exercises of self-acceptance and accepting your reality are very good and very empowering and very important for highly sensitive people. So that was number 4. Number 5, bear with me. I hope that you're still here and you're bearing with me, because I think that these 10 habits could really help. I know from personal experience that they really help me as well, and I think that this is something that you should try and just go through the whole thing and choose the ones that are right for you or whatever it is. But just, as I said, bear with me. Number 5, looking for the in-betweens, between the black and white, the grays, okay? The thoughts that are not to this extreme or to that extreme. And the reason why you should start looking for that is because highly sensitive people, again, something in our nervous system and in the way we usually were brought up, and the reactions we got from kids in our class, from our teachers, from everybody, was it made us look at the world in black and white colors, and good and bad, and this is something I could never do, and this is something I can do, but and is fine. Everything is very, very extreme, and we take it to the extreme very easily. And starting to look in everyday life, when you have these thoughts of I can never do this, starting to ask yourself, okay, maybe I can't do it every day, but maybe I can do it once a week. Maybe I can do it once a month. I will never have friends because nobody is ever gonna like me. So maybe I'm just gonna look for one person that is gonna be not a close friend, but just an acquaintance that I can relate to a bit better. Just gradually going through steps and changing the extreme thoughts to something that is in between. Again, from personal experience and from my clients, I have to say, this is something that makes highly sensitive people feel a lot better on a daily basis. So I really encourage you to try this 5th habit as well. Number 6, okay? Remember that you are a minority and that you're different. Why is that so important? Because many times, being a highly sensitive person, you find yourself in a room, in a social gathering, in church, in wherever it is, and you're surrounded by people who are different than you. You feel that something is wrong with you, of course, but if not wrong, extremely wrong, then that something is different in you, and that you're not normal, you're not like everybody else. And if you start reframing this and reminding yourself that you're part of the 20% of the population, even 15% in some say, and the fact that something is in you is different, in the sense that that's the way it is, as I said with one of the other habits, accepting yourself. You start looking at yourself differently. You understand that it's not that something is wrong with you, that you're strange, that you're not going to be able to be part of any group of people, and that you cannot go through this life just because not feel different. Telling yourself that this is who you are. It's not like something is wrong with you, but you're part of a minority of the population. It really helps the way you perceive yourself, the way you perceive yourself when you're within other people, and brings down this tension and this feeling of that something is wrong with me, and I'm not okay. Okay, that I'm not as I should be. Number 7, okay, managing your time and your breaks in between things that you do, according and with regarding the being sensitive. What does that mean? It means that, first of all, highly sensitive people, just like yourself, need breaks, and that is something that you should put into your schedule. If you do time blocking, if you do whatever the system that you use for time management, don't forget to put time blocking at times that are good for you. And that means, as with habit number 1, watching yourself, looking at yourself, looking at your energy levels, and understanding when, usually in your everyday, you need breaks, and putting that into your schedule. Because many times highly sensitive people, as being not enough, think they have to keep on running and running, and they get exhausted, they get sick, they get overwhelmed, they get upset, they get depressed, whatever, and anxious, because of not putting these breaks into your schedule. Okay, so that's part of how to manage your time. What should you do with the other time blocks that in them that you do something that is part of you, who you are and what you do in your life? Try as much as you can, no matter what it is that you do, to look for the aspects that are part of who you are, of your passion, of your calling, of your identity, because being a highly sensitive person means that if you have more of that in your life, the quality of your life and the way you live your life and how happy you are and how not anxious and depressed you are, depends on those on the content of what you put into your daily activity, and how much of those aspects, passion, calling, listening to your inner voice, looking for your why, like Simon Sinek says, or whatever, all of that stuff, as much as you have of it in your everyday life, that will make your life better. So in whatever it is that you do, try to do as much as you can things, or look for aspects that talk or are part of your inner self or your inner voice. Don't forget the breaks, and look for the energy curves that are very important for who you are. For example, as a therapist, when I noticed it, I started looking at the times that I have energy for seeing clients, and the times that I have energy that is good for filming these videos, for example, and time that I have energy for something that is just reading a book as part of my doing, not of my taking breaks and resting, and time that is something that I need to take for myself. But looking at this, the way my energy levels are throughout the day, regarding, of course, people that are around me and my family and everything, that is something that is very, very important to adopt as a highly sensitive person. So that was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was number 7. Number 8 is nutrition. Okay, and I'm not an expert in anything that had to do with nutrition or whatever it is that you're eating, or the diet that you're applying in your everyday life, or anything else. The only thing that I want to tell you as a highly sensitive person is that nutrition, uh, including food and drink and water and everything else, has a much more intense effect on your well-being. Meaning that you, as much as you can, try to listen to your digestion system, to the feeling you have towards the food that you bring in. I can give an example. For example, I started separating. I read a lot about nutrition, and I'm very interested in that, and because of the connection and just because of life and whatever it is. And I found that drinking not close to and not doing your meal is something that does a lot of good to your digestion system, certainly at a certain age, okay? Being 25 as I am. I'm kidding, of course. But I started to any new habit or anything that I learned that people say is very good for everybody. I know as a highly sensitive person that I have to check very thoroughly with myself, what does it do to me? Because this is how highly sensitive people are built. Everything is very unique and very intensely experienced, and that could be, it could be a great something that works greatly for other people, but for you is not good. And that is the main thing that I'm trying to say on this point. As far as nutrition goes, listen to your digestion system and pay close attention to what is good for you and what is not, and from that continue and choose the way you deal with all this topic of digestion. So that was number 8. Number 9 and number 10 are shorter ones, and they have to do with words that you say and words that you don't say. And number 9 is adding to many things that you say about yourself the word yet. For example, I'm not a people's person yet. I'm not able to stand in front of a crowd and speak out yet. Whatever, many things that you, as a highly sensitive person, adopted as part of your who you are and the way you see yourself. I would like to encourage you to start adding yet to it and slightly change the habit of how you talk about yourself, and see where that takes you and how is that going to change some of the aspects of how you perceive yourself. That was number 9. Number 10 is start taking words off. And which words do I mean? Whenever you say no, which is very hard for you as a highly sensitive person because you're empathic and you see what the other person needs, and it's very difficult for you. Whenever you say no, you usually give an explanation. And I want you to try and not give the explanation, okay? Cut it back and just say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. And not add on this explanation, and see how that does that affect you as a highly sensitive person in your energy within yourself and with other people. So those were the 10 habits that I would love for you to try and see if they are right for you with the beginning of this new year. Thank you so much for bearing with me with this long video. I really hope this finds you, this talks to you in a certain way and finds you interested in what I said. So thank you so much for being here, bearing with me through this whole long video. More than welcome to subscribe to this channel, to join me in my clinic for private sessions, and anything else that you can think of. Just reply and ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much.